All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Dave Cooper, Coffee with Dave. And yes, I am on location at a really cool spot in Moonlight Ranch. And we are having a wonderful time today. As you can see behind me, we got some containers mixed with some other building products. And we're going to talk about that with Jeff Carinja in just a little bit. But first, I want to say good morning. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. We are literally in the middle of the desert for the most part. Probably about, an hour north of Cody. So, yeah, always tough. Well, with that said, everybody, thanks for joining this morning. My name is Dave Cooper, davecooper.live. And being on location here is kind of a special event. You're going to see some things happening over here. Even my daughters are helping out on this project. It is going to be a completely off-grid, 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom bed and breakfast. Bed and breakfast, totally off-grid, sustainable, green. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 containers as part of this build. And a lot of the things that are happening on this build have not been done before that we know of. And we're going to talk about that. So if you're out there watching this and you've seen some of this before, hey, let us know. Please do. And as always, if you're early morning like us, it's 7:30 here, enjoying your coffee. I'm doing a Colorado French press coffee this morning, dark roast. Have to say, I don't like it as much as some of the other ones I had. But with that said, let's get into it. We had a spectacular week. And when I mean spectacular, we had some really, really interesting people on talking about all the wonderful things that we are doing in our industry. All the way to hemp. Hemp's making a big comeback in our industry as well. So let me go through some of our things. What do we have going on? Jennifer, if you want to flash up some of the stuff that we have coming up this week as well, I'm going to work through it. And we're going to say hi to a few people real quick. Mr. Greg Ugaldi's in the house. What a week of NAHB leadership meetings in DC. Greg Ugaldi. For all of you that don't know Greg is the head, the top dog of the National Association of Home Builders. He updates the president and people in the White House on a regular basis on what we are doing in the home building industry, fighting for your rights, fighting for our rights. And Greg, I think you're on the show, not this Monday, but the following Monday. So we will have Greg Ugaldi back on the phone, back on the show, and it's going to be great to have him with us. Can't wait to hear about your great week, Dave and Jen, and hear what is in store. I love it. We got Gilbert Meyer all the way from Honduras. What's happening, Gilbert? Good to see you, MMC3. Nice to see you. Peter Molinar is in the house this morning. Good morning. Is it a latte or espresso today? No, just a French press. I wish I had a latte machine or espresso machine. I don't have all those fun things. And then Jennifer's out there saying hi to Mr. Aaron Peterson as well. All right. Let's get into what we have going on and where we're headed with everything this upcoming week. One of the things that I think is absolutely amazing with the show is the guests just keep getting better and better and better each and every day. And let me go here. And with that said, lumber prices are high, steel prices are high, but people are still building at 300% more, but it is not easy, and it has not been easy for them. And we'll talk about that a little bit during this project too, because it is a concern for everybody out there and what we're doing. So let's hop into it here. Monday expert interview. We had DigiBuild on, Robert Salvador from DigiBuild Software. Now, Robert, and what they are doing is they are using blockchain. That's right. Blockchain revolutionizing the global construction industry with their technology. And what's so great about what Robert and everything that they are doing, they're merging all the construction management expertise within the blockchain. That's right. There is no he said, she said any longer. Those days are over with DigiBuild. There is no he said, she said. So let me give you some examples. From the start of the project to the end of the project, there is a blockchain chain of events. There's like a paper trail, but a digital paper trail that cannot be changed, that is accurate, it's on time. And we were talking, in the course of a life of a project, there's up to 750,000 documents depending on the size of the project. How do you manage 750,000 documents over the course you know, of a 2-3 year project, from the time it starts to the time it finishes, all the way from the pre-planning stages, through the construction stages, through the insurance stages, through the lien stages. Yeah, everything. It manages it all the way through. And when you watch Monday's expert interview, if you haven't seen it already, you'll be surprised of the amount of money it is saving contractors out there, builders, developers. It's absolutely amazing. So you want to check it out. Blockchain is here to stay. It is definitely moving into our industry. I think Jen may have had that up. The timeline of truth, blockchain on Dave Cooper Live. Well, that's exactly what it was. It was the timeline of proof. And there is no hidden factors. And you know what? People are loving it because there isn't a he said, she said. It remembers everything. Moving on, Wednesday. Product Spotlight. Man, we had Mandy Kerr on, which was amazing, and Glenn Donahue. Listen, this is what is happening now. You got lumber prices through the roof, you got concrete or steel through the roof, right? And you got alternative products now coming into the market. And hemp is one that's starting to gain a lot of traction. And this was a conversation with Mandy, who is the head of the Hemp Global Association. The head of the Hemp Global Association. And her job is really networking and bringing things to market and putting people in contact with people. In fact, so much that we're talking next Monday, and we may add a regular show just talking about all the different products, from the block to the hempcrete to the hemp boards, wall boards, and everything that it's being used for, even installation and some other things. So, you know, with Mandy and her outreach and network of people, this is gonna be a lot of fun to highlight and spotlight everything that they're doing. So, but let's not forget, you know, Glenn Donahue was on the show, and Glenn is a really interesting cat, right? They have a hemp block, and if you haven't seen it, it's super easy. One person can put it together, pick it up, put it into place. It's sustainable, it's green, it's not going to mold, it's not retaining water, and one person can do it. You don't need 2 or 3 people, and these blocks were super big. And they have approvals already in France, and I believe they're having the approvals here in the United States. They have projects getting ready to come up. And what was so cool about this is, we were talking about it, there were other companies that we've not heard of saying, yeah, we got some manufacturing happening here with the hemp products already. So I do think hemp is going to be here to stay. Now, it's not less expensive yet, but nothing is when it's new. And we're in the beginning phases of really starting to explore this. However, did you know it grows 4 times as fast as lumber? 4 times as fast as lumber. That's right. 4 times as fast. If you can get the manufacturing and the processing of it down, and you can grow it 4 times faster, and you can get the efficiencies out of modern methods of construction, well, that's a game changer. That is a game changer. So with that said, tune in on Wednesday with Mandy, you know, and watch the show with Mandy Kerr and Glenn Donahue, because I think you're going to find what they were doing with their hemp blocks is going to be amazing. There you go. Jen put up preserving indoor air quality, comfort with hemp blocks, low thermal conductivity, high thermal resistance, moisture buffering capacity, and sound absorption properties. There's so many benefits to that show. So stay tuned for that. Looking forward to having more of that on. Let me see who else is commenting out here. Hey, Jeffrey Conley, how you doing? Definitely going to check out DigiBuild. I'm a blockchain geek. Well, you know what, Jeff? It is cool. It really is. And I think it's here to stay, and they're definitely on to it in what they're doing. And I would imagine we're going to see a lot more of this blockchain moving forward. It makes sense. It makes sense. Everything's changing, and this is one of the things that's changing with it, right? I got my collar. I'm all disheveled out here. Back in. BS Friday. And yeah, I'm going through these kind of quick because I really want to get to what we have going on over there. Let me show you guys. So there's a whole nother view happening on this side over here. So we're going to have some fun with that. Jeff, I saw him climbing up, just watching what they're doing with the log installation. Yeah, I said it, logs. Yeah, logs. So it's going to be cool. All right, BS Friday, ventilation certification. Passive house style. Ventilation certification, passive house style with Michael Franco Fias. a hot topic right now is indoor air quality. COVID's driven this. We talk about it on BS Friday quite regularly. And indoor air quality and how you manage that in a passive house or how you manage it really in any home is such a hot topic. And what we're breathing, the air we're breathing, is becoming more and more important to the consumer. I mean, COVID shed a light on a lot of these things. So with that said, you know, I think that we really need to start paying attention to how we're installing things. And part of our conversation was, well, how does a contractor get certified? How, if you're in the MEP space, you're in heating, cooling, and ventilation, how in the world do you actually get certified? Is it overwhelming? Is it over the roof? It's not. They use all their codes, ACD1, you know, whatever. And that was part of the conversation. Some of the people were typing in the big code terms for the mechanical trades. But the reality of it is they have a program that they've put in place to educate, to help get contractors certified, trained, bring new contractors in. And that's right, I said new, because they are taking it to the next level. They're taking it to a level with the technology and with the information that we're going to see, hopefully, an influx of more young people coming into the trades. We have to meet them where we're at, right? Or meet them where they're at. And that's super, super important in everything we do. And guess where they're at? They're here, right? They're technology. And being an industry that hasn't changed in over 100 years, we need to get up to speed to where they're at with their great minds. And with that said, that's why we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And Mr. Greg Ugaldi is coming to us from Twitch, I believe, this morning. Yes, he is. And if you are watching this, let us know where you're from this morning. Tell us, where are you from? We want to hear from you. And let us know if you want to learn about a little bit of what's happening behind me here with this container project. Super cool. And I have to tell you, it had to be some work getting those containers up here, because just driving up here and where we're at, yes, I got a busted oil pan on my car. I know, John, I was going too fast, but that's how it goes for sure. All right, so indoor air quality, passive house certification. That was Friday, BS Friday with Mr. Mark Bare Naked Willie, which is, you know, always an exciting show. And we're going to continue bringing all the excitement when it comes to building science and where we're headed and what is coming up. So I just love this BS Friday ventilation certification. And you got, Jen's got the wind blowing. Perfect. What's next? All right, so we're hitting the road this week. We are heading west. We're going to Washington State. So if you are in Washington State and you want to connect with us, you want us to see what you're doing out there, or you know somebody that we should be showcasing, let us know. We're heading to Washington State this week. So that'll be a travel day on Monday. And guess what? We're going to have a live show on location at a manufacturing facility this week. I love it. We are going to show you a whole nother panelization truss manufacturing facility that is third generation, and it is starting to blossom. And I'll get into that in just a moment. But first, our Wednesday product spotlight is System 3E Construction Building Walls out of block. That's right. Without binder and insulation, because it acts as one. Here we did Hemp Block last Wednesday. We're doing a block month, I guess. So this week we're going to be showing another block system. You're going to have to tune in for this, because yes, two people can pretty much build a house in one day with block. That's right, with block. And it is not concrete block. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation. And here's the great thing about it. It doesn't burn. Nor does the hemp block, by the way. Who would have thought hemp block doesn't burn, right? It doesn't burn. And it can be absorbed back into the earth when the house or the building has lived its lifetime. That's right. Environmentally friendly, can go back into the earth. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. So for all you data geeks out there and you science geeks and you want to understand the makeup of all these things, that's going to be a great show with System 3E. And guess what? They're in Poland. They're looking to come here. They are in Poland and they're looking to come here. And their company is growing like wildflowers. Fast, super fast. So join us for that. And Jen did put it in there, live on location with BJ Lowe's Truss, third generation, preparing for the next generation. live on location. We're going to do a factory tour, probably, hopefully be able to show you an install of what they are doing in their product. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how a third generation owner who bought the company from the family is taking it to the next level, using digital twins, using technology, and looking to implement more robotics into their manufacturing facility. So this conversation is really going to be great, because for all of you out there that are tried and true, been in the modular panelization business just as long, second, third, fourth generation, I think there's something for everybody to learn for what's happening out there. So looking forward to being out there with BJ Lowe's and really going through what they're looking at, how they're bringing in young people, and how they are growing and expanding everything that they are doing. So it's going to be cool. All right, here we are. Hey, Jeff, come on over here. Come on over. We got Jeff Caringia, building off the grid custom home in Montana. Jeff, let me turn on that mic so everybody can hear you.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I was sitting over here. I'm like, man, I hope his mic's not on. He's over there chatting away. All right, this is Jeff Caringia. Jeff, say hello to everybody.
It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Yeah, Moonlight Ranch. So, Jeff, talk to us a little bit about what we have going on back here.
Well, cordwood is a unique process of building. Okay, it's been around for about 1,000 years.
Yes.
It was mostly done in Norway and places like that where cold temperatures are.
Right.
So we decided to combine that with containers.
Yeah.
And the reason we're using containers up here because we have high wind velocities. All right. So that the house would rick if you didn't use them.
Right. Right.
So we're basically using the containers to stop that from happening.
On all four corners.
Yeah. On all four corners. And they're J-bar deep into the foundation because of the winds. And they'll all be gutted. And all glass, but so we're using a metal frame essentially. Okay. Now cordwood are 16-inch logs. Log homes go like this. Yeah. Right. Cordwood goes like this. All right, like firewood. Right. And you can split it in quarters, halves, or leave them rounds. Right. Right. Whatever you want to do. And then we use the earth from the property here because it's perfect for this. Yep. And then we mix it with some Portland, and you do 1/3 on the outside, 1/3 on the inside, and you leave the core open. Okay. And then you fill that core with sawdust, right? And you pack it. And you can get an R factor between 30 to 40 on that. You know, it's going to have variables depending upon packing. All right. Where a normal house is only 19. Yeah. So this is extreme. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, and the containers, they'll be, you know, as well insulated as well. So the cordwood, we're seeing it on this side wall over here, and we'll show some more. I got a camera set up over there. But what you're saying, so what are those? 16 inches? They're 16 inches long, and they go all the way through the wall, and then you're packing sawdust in between the mixtures. Like in between 1/3 on the outside, 1/3 on the inside, and you're leaving the core open. All right. So it's the cement and dirt, sawdust. Right. And what about fire? You have to worry about fire with it? Because they don't burn. They don't smolder. They smolder. Right. So if you have a fire, you can actually knock a wall out. Yeah. And stop it from happening. Right. And that's another purpose behind this, because there's, you know, fire in the neighborhood. We just had a fire. Yeah. So everybody knows, literally, I wish I could turn that. Maybe I'll turn the camera around when we're done with the show, but the whole mountainside was on fire. You had a huge fire here. Beartooth Mountain's lit up. Beartooth Mountain was on fire, and I'm sure it was all over the news too. Yeah. And we have the Yellowstone River as our backyard. Right. And the Beartooth Mountains on our front side. And over there, you can see the Yellowstone mountains. Oh yeah, right through the bay. For sure, for sure. But this is basically fireproof. Yeah, that's why we built it this way. You know, and it's an eco build. It's a total recycle build. You recycle containers, beetle kill wood. So nothing is really, you know, environmentally wrong. Right. We're totally off grid. All right. We're running 17,000 watts off solar. Yeah. Right. Even the trailer out here was running off grid. You know, so it's just so you know, with the trailer that you guys, you know, use when you're out here, the wind was so strong that it actually has lifted the trailer up. You had to put hay bales around just to give you some idea of what happens. Everybody thinks the desert's just hot and nice, but the wind whips through here like no tomorrow. Oh yeah, yeah. We get some high winds at night. It comes out of nowhere on you, and it rotates pretty quickly because of the mountain ranges. Yeah, sure. Different directions, so you're not sure which way it's coming from. Right. You know?
So this is pretty cool. We're going to walk over here in a second. So if you're out there and you have some questions on this type of construction, you know, put them in the comments or you know, let us know if you've actually used containers in the past. If Mr. Mark Willie's watching, I'm sure he has done it, has used containers a lot in the past. Oh, here we go. Jeff Conley, is this a 10,000 square foot home?
Yes, it's 10,000 square feet. It has 10 bedrooms. 2 of them are masters, 40 by 22. Yep. All have private baths. It has a theater room, a fifth room, a great room, and an open concept kitchen, and a 6-car garage.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a good sized building.
Yeah, yeah. And is this building going to be a private residence, or is it going to be?
This is a bed and breakfast.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of for retirement thoughts and things like that.
Yeah.
As well as it's this show as well.
Right. So that was a great question. It is. Greg Ugaldi say the Cooper team. We were just talking about hemp. What did Klaus Van Buren, hey man, hemp makes me think of cannabinoid products well known in this country. For sure. I love it. Well, listen, everybody, if you're out there and you got questions, just let us know. All right, why don't we flip our cameras over there and just show. Now, all 3 of our kids are over here. Hopefully you guys, we won't lose access with the mics. I'll hold my mic in my hand because sometimes you turn your body and it loses the signal from the body. But what do we have going on with the young ones up there? So that's both of my daughters and your son, and we're on this camera behind us. Wave, everybody.
So what we're doing is you can see the dirt mounds here. We sift them into the barrel there to get all the rocks out.
Okay.
All right, and then we mix that with the Portland cement in the mixer here. Right, you can see in the old pickup truck that we go out intentionally so we can beat it up.
Right.
Yeah, so all those split logs in there. And then we go up on a scaffolding where they're only doing facade ones here. Okay. Because it's a lot of weight, this stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And it makes me nervous putting that up on a second floor.
Yeah.
So we basically, instead of doing 16s, we're doing 7.5s.
On the top. Okay.
All right. It's going right up against the press boards.
Yep.
All right. And that's because that's a ton of weight. That's a lot.
Yeah, sure it is. I mean, you got a bunch of 7.5-inch logs, and then you have the concrete, the quickcrete with it, and you add the insulation because the sawdust has some weight to it in the dirt.
Yeah, so it gets heavy, very heavy.
Right.
You know.
Yep. So, and that's your son up there, Nick, and he's been doing most of this work all summer. I mean, this is a COVID thing. School shut down, and Nick came out here to do this
for COVID. I'm in the film industry, so we basically went dark.
Yeah.
Right. So we said, let's take advantage of the moment. Right. My wife stayed in LA with my daughter.
Yeah.
And Nick and I came up here, and let's figure we get the project really going.
Yeah.
And he's done a great job. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah. You know, it's hard work, you know, and it's good for the young people to know. I mean, even my daughters are here helping. They wanted to help. And I'm like, you really want to mix concrete and do this?
Yeah.
And they're here. They got up early. Hey, how's it going up there? You guys enjoying yourselves? Is this the best thing you've ever done in your life or what?
The excitement is overwhelming.
Yeah. Nick's been doing this all summer, so I think the excitement of it has settled down for sure.
Yeah.
So you got the cordwood going. What are you looking as far as expectations, timeline, pulling this project together and wrapping up?
Well, it's right now with all the wood problems. You know, the pricing's 300% increase. So that's a struggle in it.
We'll walk back over here and talk.
That's a struggle within itself.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm in the lack of product.
Right.
I mean, we've had to go to many different stores just to get a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's real hard finding product, especially up here. You know, so
especially you're doing
a couple months behind because of that.
For sure. So I mean, it's really affecting your build, and also your finances are 300% more.
That's right. You're absolutely correct. And getting materials here is very difficult.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so we do a lot of shopping in different locations.
There is. Listen, it's an all-day event to go to one lumberyard, then to the other out here. It's not just run out to Home Depot a mile down the road.
Just to find PVC and all the parts, you have to go to 5-6 stores.
Yeah.
And because nobody's carrying all anymore.
Right.
You know, so it was difficult when we were putting the septic systems in.
Sure, sure.
You know, pain in the ass.
Well, we have Mr. Greg Ugaldi joining us this morning. Greg is the immediate past chairman of the NAHB in Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's cool. Pleasure to meet you, Greg.
And Greg will be on the show. I believe it's next Monday. I got to look, and he'll do an update on that because they're fighting for, you know, trying to figure it out and bring the lumber prices back down. So definitely an interesting.
I think the prices are a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
You know,
they're up.
They're up.
They're for sure up.
There's reasons behind it.
But here's the other thing that we're learning too. As these steel prices are up and wood prices are up, there's other products starting to make a move into the market.
Yes.
It's creating opportunities for others. So, you know, the hemp's starting to come out, and it's not really been tested too well, but, you know, there is a lot of research going into alternative products now.
Yes, there is. And that's great. I think the more we play with things, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah.
We're going to find materials that we can use that'll be better for the housing markets.
Right.
Like I said, this is totally environmentally correct.
Yeah.
So green, can't get much greener.
And it's going to be 100% 10,000 square foot off grid. And that by itself is amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. That's the reason why we're doing this, to show it can be done.
Right. Right.
All right. So other people can do it who can afford to build a 10,000 square foot house. They should, because they can afford to do it. They should be able to do this.
That's right.
It shouldn't be out of their reach.
So, right. If you're going to do it, let's do it environmentally friendly.
Do it right.
Yeah. I love that.
Because instead of talking about it, you know, and saying I am, actually do it with your home. And these homes can be built anywhere from LA to here. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be here.
Right. Right. So what's your biggest lesson learned here?
Time.
Weather. Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
The build's easy, but the environment makes it tough sometimes.
Sure.
Up here.
Well, I can imagine that too. Perfect. All right. Well, listen. All right, everybody. What does that say? Aaron Peterson has been bragging on you guys, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. You're a good friend.
Yeah, I love it. And Aaron connected us, which is great. We've been having a lot of fun.
He's a good guy. He's solid.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And well known in our industry. And you know, he's a mover and a groover, mover and a shaker and a mover. What do they call it? What's the LA term for that?
Probably a shaker mover.
Probably shaker mover. So, all right, everybody, listen. So that is it for this morning's Coffee with Dave. I know we went probably longer than we normally go in our little 20-minute Coffee with Dave, but we really want to show you this project. Wanted to show you that there are people out here that are doing amazing things, trying different things that haven't been done.
Right. Well, this is the only one in the world like this. With the combination of these materials together.
Right.
That's what I've been told by experts. That are core wooders. Right. They said they've never seen them mixed with containers before.
Right.
So, and post and beam is normal, but containers, no.
Yeah. So there you have it. I mean, if you guys have been out there and you've seen this, let us know. But yeah, you're right. I mean, just we were talking about joining the containers with the wood.
That's right. It's a difficult task, but we ended up finding that material that we discussed earlier did a really good job. Right, because the steel doesn't no, not at all. Doesn't heal the post at all.
Not at all. All right, listen, everybody. So that's a wrap for today. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're enjoying your coffee out there. We are going to be on the road this week. Like I said, heading out to Washington State. Make sure you join us on Wednesday for the company that we have coming on from Poland. Jen will put up the information. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then again, we will be at BJ Lowe's Truss Manufacturing Facility, showing you how a third generation operator of the company is taking things to the next level. So I love it. Jeff, thanks, man.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Everything. Pleasure meeting you and your family.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
hey, thanks for putting my daughters to work. They needed a little hard work out here.
Pleasure.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm Dave Cooper. We will see you coming up this week. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday. And to everybody that joined us this morning, thank you so much. We appreciate all of your support. Bye now.